Have you ever wondered why some people learn languages so quickly, while others study grammar for years but still can't have a simple conversation? The answer might surprise you. It's not about studying harder, it's about listening better. Today, I want to share something with you that changed how I think about language learning and about communication in general. Hi, everyone. I'm Sadie, and welcome to Artificial Fluency Podcast. Before we dive in, I want to say something from my heart. I upload new videos to our channel every day for you to learn and grow. Don't forget to support me so I can continue doing this. You can help me see our channel in front of more people by subscribing, becoming a member, liking, and commenting on each of my videos. Please don't forget to do these. Thank you so much for your support. Today's episode is about something we often overlook: listening. Not just hearing, but really listening. Most English learners focus on speaking, reading, and writing. They study grammar rules, they memorize vocabulary lists, they practice pronunciation. But here's what I've noticed. The learners who improve the fastest are the ones who listen the most. Why? Because listening is the foundation. Everything else, speaking, writing, even understanding grammar, becomes easier when you develop strong listening skills. And it's not just about English. Good listening skills transform your professional life, your relationships, and even your everyday experiences. Today, I'm going to share real stories about real people whose lives changed when they learned to listen better. We'll explore how listening helps you learn natural English, succeed at work, build stronger relationships, and navigate daily life more effectively. This is an intermediate level episode, so I'll use natural expressions and authentic language. Don't worry if you don't catch everything. That's part of the practice. Just relax, listen, and let the English flow over you. Are you ready? Let's explore why listening is everything. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Let me start by asking you something. How did you learn your first language? You didn't start with grammar books, did you? You started by listening. For the first year or two of your life, you just listened. You absorbed the sounds, the rhythms, the patterns. Then, gradually, you started to speak. This is the natural order. Listening comes first. But when we learn a second language as adults, we often reverse this process. We study grammar rules before we've really heard the language in action. We memorize vocabulary lists before we've heard how those words are actually used. This approach can work, but it's not efficient. And it's not how language naturally sticks in your brain. Let me tell you about my friend Daniel. Daniel is a business owner, and a few years ago, he was trying to improve his English. He knew grammar well. He could read and write reasonably well. But when he tried to have conversations, he struggled. One day, Daniel had an important meeting with a potential client. The client said, "I'll drop by your office around 3 p.m. Daniel nodded and smiled. But inside, he was confused. Drop by? He didn't know this expression. He thought maybe the client was going to bring something and drop it off. So when 3 p.m. came and the client showed up at his office door, Daniel was completely surprised. He realized too late that drop by simply means to visit briefly. Daniel felt embarrassed, but he learned an important lesson that day. Textbook English and real-life English are often very different. So Daniel started listening to English podcasts during his commute. He watched interviews with business leaders.
He paid attention to how people actually spoke, the expressions they used, the way they structured their sentences, the rhythm of their speech. And something amazing happened. Within a few months, Daniel's English transformed. Not because he studied more grammar, but because he listened more. He started using phrases like, "I'm swamped with work," instead of, "I'm very busy." He said, "Let's touch base next week," instead of, "Let's talk next week." His English sounded natural, not textbook. This is the power of listening to real-life English. Now, let me share another story. My friend John visited New York City for the first time. On his first morning, he went to a cafe. The barista greeted him with a friendly, "Hey, what's up?" John panicked. He knew up meant the direction opposite to down, so he looked up at the ceiling, confused. The barista laughed and said, "I mean, how are you?" John realized that "what's up" is just an informal way of saying, "How are you?" But he'd never heard this in his English classes. This is what happens when we only learn from textbooks. We miss the natural, everyday expressions that native speakers use constantly. So how do we bridge this gap? By listening to authentic English. Podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, conversations, these expose you to how English is really spoken. When you listen actively, you learn several things at once. First, you learn vocabulary in context. Instead of memorizing that swamped means very busy, you hear it used naturally. "Sorry, I can't meet today. I'm swamped with work." The context teaches you the meaning. Second, you learn pronunciation and rhythm. You hear how words flow together. "I'm going to" becomes "I'm gonna." "Want to" becomes "wanna." These are things you can't learn from a textbook. Third, you learn cultural nuances. You understand when it's appropriate to use formal language and when informal language is better. I have a friend named Emma who moved to Canada for university. She spoke excellent English, or so she thought. But when she arrived, she found it difficult to understand her Canadian classmates. Their accent was different from what she'd learned in school. So Emma started watching Canadian news channels. She listened to local podcasts. She paid attention to how her classmates spoke in casual conversation. Gradually, her ear adjusted. She could understand different accents. She could pick up on subtle differences in tone that indicated whether someone was joking or being serious. This is the foundation that listening provides. It prepares you for real-world communication in a way that textbooks simply cannot.
Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you. Listening skills are one of the most valuable professional assets you can have. In fact, many employers say that good listening skills are more important than speaking skills. Why? Because people who listen well understand instructions clearly, pick up on subtle cues, avoid misunderstandings, and make others feel valued. Let me share some stories that illustrate this. My friend David immigrated to a new country to start his career. He had good English skills on paper, but in his first few months at work, he struggled in meetings. Everyone spoke so quickly. They used idioms and expressions he didn't know. They referenced cultural things he wasn't familiar with. David felt overwhelmed. He wanted to contribute, but he was afraid of saying something wrong or misunderstanding what was being discussed. So, David developed a strategy. Instead of trying to speak more, he decided to listen more carefully. During meetings, he focused completely on understanding the main ideas. When he didn't understand something, he asked for clarification. "Could you repeat that, please?" Or, "I want to make sure I understand. Are you saying that?" He took notes. He paid attention not just to words, but to tone and emphasis. When someone spoke with urgency, he knew it was important. When someone spoke hesitantly, he knew there might be concerns. Something interesting happened. His colleagues started to respect him more. They appreciated that he asked thoughtful questions.
They noticed that when he did speak, it was relevant and well considered. Within a year, David was promoted to team lead, not because he spoke the most, but because he listened the best. Here's another story. My friend Michael works as an engineer in a multinational company. His team includes people from India, Brazil, the UK, and Japan. Initially, Michael found it challenging to work with such diverse accents and communication styles. In meetings, he sometimes missed important details because he couldn't quite catch what someone with a strong accent was saying. But Michael realized something important. His job wasn't just to speak English well, it was to understand and be understood across cultural boundaries. So he started practicing active listening with intention. When someone spoke, he focused not just on their words, but on their overall message. He looked at their body language. He asked follow-up questions to confirm understanding. He also started listening to podcasts and interviews featuring speakers from different countries. This trained his ear to adapt to various accents. The result? Michael became one of the most effective communicators on his team. He could bridge gaps between team members. He could summarize complex discussions in a way that everyone understood. His manager noticed. Michael was given more responsibility and eventually became the liaison for international projects. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Let me tell you one more professional story. This one is about job interviews. My student Javier was preparing for job interviews. He was nervous, not just about answering questions, but about understanding them correctly. Javier had a tendency to rush. As soon as an interviewer asked a question, he would start thinking about his answer, sometimes before they'd even finish speaking. I gave Javier one simple piece of advice. Listen to the entire question before you start formulating your answer. Take a breath, then respond. It sounds simple, but it was transformative. In his next interview, Javier practiced this technique. When asked, "Tell me about a time you handled a difficult situation," he didn't immediately panic and search his memory. Instead, he listened carefully to make sure he understood what they were asking for. He paused for a moment, thought carefully, and then gave a clear, relevant answer. The interviewers were impressed. They mentioned in their feedback that Javier seemed calm, thoughtful, and attentive, all qualities they valued. Javier got the job. This is what good listening does in professional contexts. It helps you understand instructions accurately. It prevents costly mistakes. It makes you appear more competent and confident. And here's the thing. In many professional situations, people aren't looking for someone who talks the most. They're looking for someone who listens well, understands clearly, and responds appropriately.
Now, let's shift from the professional world to something equally important: personal relationships and everyday life. I've come to believe that listening is the most underrated skill in relationships. We're all taught how to express ourselves, how to speak up, how to share our feelings, but how often are we taught to truly listen? Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, my cousin Leo and I had a disagreement. It was about something relatively minor, but it had created tension between us. We decided to sit down and talk it out. But as we started talking, I noticed something. We weren't really listening to each other. We were both just waiting for our turn to speak. We were both preparing our arguments while the other person was talking. So I suggested something different. "Let's try this," I said. "When you speak, I'll just listen. I won't interrupt. I won't defend myself. I'll just try to understand your perspective. And then you'll do the same for me." It was hard, really hard. When Leo said something I disagreed with, I had to resist the urge to jump in. But I stayed quiet. I listened. And something surprising happened. When I truly listened, without planning my rebuttal, without judging, I started to actually understand where Leo was coming from.
I could see why he felt the way he did. When it was my turn to speak, Leo did the same. He just listened. By the end of our conversation, we hadn't just resolved our disagreement, we understood each other better than we had in years. This experience taught me something profound. Listening is an act of love. It's saying to someone, you matter. Your thoughts matter. Your feelings matter. Now, let me tell you about my friends Sarah and John. They're married, and like all couples, they sometimes have conflicts. One recurring issue was how they spent their weekends. Sarah wanted to go out and be social. John wanted to stay home and relax. Every weekend, this same conflict would arise. They would argue, compromise, but neither felt truly satisfied. Then they tried something different. Instead of arguing about what to do, they spent time really listening to why each person wanted what they wanted. Sarah explained that her job was stressful and isolating. Going out on weekends made her feel connected and energized. John explained that his job involved constant interaction with people. By the weekend, he was socially exhausted and needed quiet time to recharge. Once they really understood each other's needs, not just their wants, they could find creative solutions. Maybe they'd have a quiet Friday evening at home so John could decompress, and then go out Saturday afternoon when he felt more energized. The solution came not from compromise, but from understanding, and understanding came from listening. This is true in all relationships. When we listen, really listen, we build trust, we build connection, we build understanding. Now let's talk about everyday life. Listening skills help you navigate the world more effectively than you might realize. My friend Alina loves cooking. A few years ago, she started watching English language cooking tutorials on YouTube. At first, it was challenging. The chefs spoke quickly, they used specific cooking terms she didn't know. But Alina listened carefully. When a chef said, "Sauté the onions," she watched what they did. From context, she learned that sauté meant to cook quickly in a hot pan with a little oil. She listened to the rhythm of instructions. First, dice the vegetables. Then, heat the oil. Next, sauté until golden. Her cooking improved dramatically. But more than that, her English improved. She learned vocabulary naturally in context. She learned to follow complex instructions. She learned to pay attention to details. And here's the interesting part. The listening skills she developed for cooking transferred to other areas. She became better at following directions when learning to use new software at work. She became better at understanding instructions from her doctor. Listening is a transferable skill. When you develop it in one context, it helps you everywhere. Let me give you one more everyday example. My friend Lucas was learning to drive. His driving instructor would give verbal instructions. Check your mirrors. Signal left. Watch for pedestrians. Lucas realized that he needed to listen very carefully, not just to the words, but to the tone. When the instructor's voice became urgent, Lucas knew to be extra cautious. By focusing on listening, Lucas learned to drive more safely and confidently. He passed his driving test on the first try. These might seem like small things, but they add up. Good listening skills help you learn new hobbies, navigate new places, make informed decisions, and stay safe. Listening is truly a life skill. Now that we've explored why listening is so important, let's talk about how to actually improve your listening skills. I'm going to share practical strategies that you can start using today. Strategy 1. Practice active listening. Active listening means giving your full attention to the speaker. It sounds simple, but it's surprisingly difficult in our age of constant distractions. Here's how to do it. When someone is speaking to you, put away your phone. Close your laptop. Turn off the TV. Give them your complete attention. Look at the person. Make eye contact. This shows respect and helps you pick up on nonverbal cues. Don't interrupt. Don't plan what you're going to say next. Just focus on understanding what they're saying right now. Show that you're listening with small verbal cues like, I see, or that makes sense. When the person finishes, take a moment before responding. This shows you're actually thinking about what they said, not just waiting to talk. I practiced this with my family, and they noticed immediately. My sister said, "It feels like you're actually here with me when we talk now." That feedback meant everything. Strategy 2. Listen to diverse English content. If you want to improve your English listening skills specifically, you need to expose yourself to a variety of English speakers. Listen to podcasts from different countries. Watch interviews with people from various backgrounds. This trains your ear to understand different accents, speeds, and styles of speaking. But don't just listen passively. Choose content that interests you. True crime, technology, cooking, whatever you're passionate about. When you're interested in the topic, you naturally listen more carefully. I recommend starting with content that has transcripts available. Listen first without reading. Then listen again while reading. Then listen a third time without reading. This technique really works. Strategy 3. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. This is crucial, and many learners struggle with it. They're embarrassed to admit they didn't understand something, so they pretend they did. But asking for clarification isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of good listening. It shows you care about understanding accurately. Use phrases like, "Could you repeat that, please? I'm not sure I understood. Did you mean? Could you explain what you mean by? Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again?" I remember when my friend Michael, the engineer I mentioned earlier, started asking his colleagues to explain technical terms. He was worried they'd think he was incompetent. But the opposite happened. They respected him for wanting to understand clearly. It prevented mistakes, and it showed he was engaged. Strategy 4. Take notes while listening. When listening to a lecture, a podcast, or an important work presentation, take notes. But don't try to write everything down. Instead, write down key ideas, new vocabulary, and anything you want to remember or follow up on later. This does two things. It keeps you actively engaged, and it gives you material to review later. I do this with podcasts. I keep a notebook and jot down interesting expressions or ideas. Later, I review my notes and try to use those expressions in my own speaking. Strategy 5. Listen for context. When you hear a word you don't know, don't immediately reach for your dictionary. Instead, try to guess the meaning from context. Listen to the sentences around it. Pay attention to the speaker's tone. Look at what's happening in the situation. This skill is incredibly useful in real-life conversations, where you can't stop and look up every word. For example, if someone says, "I'm feeling under the weather today," and they're sniffling and look tired, you can probably guess that under the weather means they're not feeling well. Strategy 6. Listen and repeat. This technique is particularly useful for improving both listening and speaking. Find a short audio clip, maybe a minute or two. Listen to it several times, then try to repeat what you heard, mimicking the speaker's pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. This is called shadowing, and it's incredibly effective. It trains your ear and your mouth simultaneously. Record yourself doing this, then listen to the recording and compare it to the original. You'll be surprised how much you learn.
We've covered a lot in the last 30 minutes. Let me summarize the key insights. Listening is the foundation of language learning. It's how we acquire natural vocabulary, learn authentic expressions, and develop an ear for the rhythm and flow of English. Listening is a professional superpower. It helps you understand instructions, avoid misunderstandings, and make better decisions. People who listen well are valued more than people who speak well. Listening strengthens relationships. When you truly listen to someone, you make them feel valued and understood. This builds trust and connection. Listening is a practical life skill. It helps you learn new things, navigate new places, and stay safe in everyday situations. And the beautiful thing about listening? It's a skill you can develop. With practice and intention, anyone can become a better listener. So here's my challenge to you. For the next week, practice one of the strategies we discussed today. Maybe it's active listening in your conversations. Maybe it's listening to English podcasts daily. Maybe it's asking for clarification instead of pretending to understand. Choose one thing and commit to it. And notice what changes. I think you'll be surprised at how much this simple practice transforms not just your English, but your entire experience of communication. Remember, language learning isn't just about speaking. It's about understanding, and understanding begins with listening. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for listening to this episode. You're already practicing the skill we've been discussing. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. This is Sadie, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, open your ears and open your heart. The world has so much to teach you. Take care. Do you ever look at other people and think, they are doing so well, but me? I am behind. I am late. I am not good enough. Many people feel this way. Maybe you feel this way too. Today, I want to talk to you about this feeling, and I want to tell you something important. You are not behind. You are right where you need to be. Hi, everyone. I'm Sadie. Welcome to Artificial Fluency Podcast. Before we start, I want to say something from my heart. I upload new videos to our channel every day for you to learn and grow. Don't forget to support me so I can continue doing this. You can help me see our channel in front of more people by subscribing, becoming a member, liking, and commenting on each of my videos. Please don't forget to do these. Thank you so much. Today, we will talk about a feeling, a very common feeling, the feeling of being behind. What does behind mean? It means late. It means not fast enough. It means others are ahead and you are still back there. Many people feel this way. They look at their friends. They look at people on the internet, and they think, everyone is doing better than me. But is this true? No, it is not true. Today, I will explain why. I will use simple words, I will speak slowly, and I will tell you stories. You don't need to understand every word. Just listen. Just relax. Your brain is learning. Are you ready? Let's begin. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Let me ask you a question. When you were in school, what grade were you in? Maybe grade 1, then grade 2, then grade 3? Everyone moved together, right? Everyone was the same age. Everyone learned the same things at the same time. But then school finished, and life began. And in life, everyone is different. Some people get married at 25. Some people get married at 45. Some people start a business at 20. Some people start a business at 60. Some people find their dream job quickly.
Some people search for many years. This is normal. This is life. But we forget this. We think life is like school. We think everyone should do things at the same time. This is not true. Life is not a race. Life is not a test. Everyone has their own time, their own speed, their own path. Let me tell you a story. I have two friends. Their names are Anna and Lisa. Anna got married at 23. She had a baby at 25. She bought a house at 27. Lisa is 30. She is not married. She doesn't have a baby. She doesn't have a house. Does this mean Lisa is behind? No. Lisa traveled to 20 countries. She learned 3 languages. She has a job she loves. Anna and Lisa are different. They have different lives, different dreams, different timelines. Neither one is behind. Neither one is ahead. They are just different. Now, let me tell you about a man. His name was Colonel Sanders. Do you know KFC, the chicken restaurant? Colonel Sanders started KFC when he was 65 years old. 65. Most people think 65 is too old. Most people think, I am too late. But Colonel Sanders didn't think this way. He started, and he was successful. So you see, there is no too late. There is no behind. There is only your time, your path, your life. Stop looking at other people. Stop comparing. Just walk your own path. This is very important. Let me say it again. Everyone has their own time. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be right now.
Now, let me tell you about something interesting. How do you remember something? A story, a movie, a book. Do you remember the beginning, the middle, or the end? Most people remember the end. Think about it. You watch a movie. The movie is 2 hours long. Maybe the first hour is boring. Maybe you don't like it. But the last 30 minutes? Amazing, exciting, beautiful. Later, you tell your friend, that was a great movie. Why? Because the ending was good. You forgot about the boring parts. You only remember the good ending. This is true for life too. Your life is not finished. Your story is not over. Maybe right now things are hard. Maybe you feel sad. Maybe you think, my life is not good. But this is not the end. This is the middle. And the middle is always hard. The middle is always confusing. But the ending? You can make the ending beautiful. Let me tell you about a woman. Her name is J.K. Rowling. Do you know Harry Potter, the famous books? J.K. Rowling wrote those books. But before she was famous, her life was very hard. She had no money, she had a baby, she was alone, she was sad. People looked at her and thought, she is behind in life. She has problems. But then she wrote Harry Potter and everything changed. Now people don't remember her hard times. They remember her success. Her ending is beautiful. Her story is inspiring. So what does this mean for you? It means don't judge your life right now. Right now is the middle. The middle is always messy. Your ending is still being written. Keep going. Keep trying. Keep believing. Your story is not finished yet. Now, I want to talk about something important, something many people don't like to hear. Sometimes We are not behind because life is unfair. Sometimes we are behind because we are too comfortable. Let me explain what comfortable means. Comfortable means safe, easy, no stress, no change. Comfortable feels nice, but comfortable can be dangerous. Let me tell you a story about a frog. There is a pot of water. The water is cold. A frog jumps in. The water is nice. The frog is happy. The frog stays. Then, slowly, the water gets warmer and warmer and warmer. The frog doesn't notice. Why? Because the change is slow. Finally, the water is very hot, too hot. The frog is in danger. But now it's too late. This is what happens to people too. We stay in a job we don't like. Why? Because it's comfortable. It's safe. We stay in a place we don't love. Why? Because change is scary. We don't try new things. Why? Because trying is uncomfortable. And slowly, we stay stuck. We stay behind. Not because we can't move, but because we choose not to move. Let me give you a real example. I know a man, his name is Tom. Tom worked at a company for 10 years. He didn't like his job. He was bored. He was unhappy. But every day he went to work. Why? Because the job was safe. The salary was okay. Tom's friends started businesses. They changed careers. They tried new things. Tom looked at them and thought, they are ahead. I am behind. But Tom didn't change. He stayed comfortable. 5 years passed. Tom was still in the same job, still unhappy. Then, one day, Tom thought, wait, I am not behind because life is unfair. I am behind because I am afraid to try. So, Tom made a decision. He quit his job, he learned a new skill, and he found work he loved. Now, Tom is happy. What changed? Tom left his comfort zone. Being comfortable feels safe, but being comfortable can stop you from growing. Sometimes we need to be uncomfortable. We need to try new things. We need to take risks. This is how we move forward. So ask yourself, am I behind because life is hard? Or am I behind because I am too comfortable? Be honest with yourself. If you are too comfortable, it's time to change. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Now, let me tell you something else. Something surprising. Many people think, if I am successful, I will be happy. They think, if I have money, a big house, a good job, then I will be happy. But is this true? Not always. Let me explain. When you get something new, you feel happy. For a little while. You get a new phone. You are excited. You are happy. But after 2 weeks, the phone is normal. You are not excited anymore. You get a promotion at work. You are happy. You feel successful. But after 1 month, the promotion is normal. You want the next promotion. This is called the hedonic treadmill. What does this mean? It means we are always running, always chasing, always wanting more. We get one thing, we feel happy, then we want the next thing. We are never satisfied. We are never enough. So, what does this teach us? It teaches us success doesn't always mean happiness. You can have a big house
and feel empty. You can have a good job and feel sad. You can look successful to other people, but inside, you feel behind. This is why comparing to others is dangerous. You look at someone's Instagram, you see their new car, their vacation, their smile. You think, they are so happy, they are so ahead. But you don't see the full picture. You don't see their stress, their problems, their fears. Everyone has problems, even successful people. So stop comparing your life to other people's highlights. Stop thinking, if I have what they have, I will be happy. Instead, ask yourself, what makes me happy? What do I really need? Maybe you don't need a big house. Maybe you need good friends. Maybe you don't need a fancy job. Maybe you need a job that gives you free time. Maybe you don't need to be rich. Maybe you need to be peaceful. Real happiness comes from inside, not from outside. So don't feel behind just because you don't have what others have. You are not behind. You are on your own path, your own journey.
Now let me tell you something powerful. If you are struggling, it means you are trying. If things are hard, it means you are growing. Let me say that again. Struggling is good. It means you are alive. You are active. You are moving forward. Think about it. If you never try new things, you never fail. But you also never succeed. If you always stay safe, you never struggle. But you also never grow. Struggling means you are in the game. You are in the fight. Let me tell you about a baby learning to walk. The baby falls. Again and again and again. Does this mean the baby is failing? No. Falling is part of learning. Struggling is part of growing. If the baby never tried, the baby would never walk. The same is true for you. Maybe you are learning English. It's hard. You make mistakes. Does this mean you are failing? No, it means you are learning. Maybe you are starting a new job. It's difficult. You feel lost. Does this mean you are behind? No, it means you are growing. Maybe you are trying to change your life. It's scary. It's uncomfortable. Does this mean you should stop? No, it means you are brave. There is a famous quote. It says, "It is not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, whose face is covered with dust and sweat and blood." What does this mean? It means the person who tries is better than the person who only watches. The person who struggles is braver than the person who stays safe. So, if you are struggling right now, be proud. You are not behind. You are fighting. You are trying. And that is something to be proud of. Many people don't try. They sit and watch. They stay safe. But you are in the arena. You are trying. This is good. This is brave. Keep going. Don't give up.
Let me tell you one more important thing. Sometimes you are learning, but you don't see it. Sometimes you are growing, but you don't feel it. This is normal. Think about a tree. When you plant a seed, what happens? For many days, you see nothing. The ground looks empty. You think nothing is happening. This seed is dead. But under the ground, something is happening. Roots are growing. Deep, strong roots. You don't see them, but they are there. Then, one day, a small plant appears.
Then it gets bigger. Then it becomes a tree. But the important work, the important growth, it was invisible. It was underground. The same is true for you. Maybe right now you feel like nothing is happening. You are working hard, you are trying, but you don't see results. You think, I am not moving forward. I am behind. But this is not true. You are building roots. You are learning things you don't see yet. You are becoming stronger, wiser, better. One day, the results will appear, like the tree appearing from the ground. But the real work, the real growth, it's happening right now, inside you. Let me give you an example. You are learning English. You study every day. Some days you feel good. You understand everything. Other days you feel confused. You think, I am not improving. I am not getting better. But this is not true. Every day you practice, your brain is changing. Your brain is building connections. You don't see it, but it's happening. Then, one day, you will speak English easily. You will understand naturally. And you will think, when did I get better? The answer? You were getting better all along. You just couldn't see it. So trust the process. Trust yourself. Even when you don't see results, you are growing. You are not behind. You are building your foundation. And a strong foundation takes time. We talked for 30 minutes today. We talked about feeling behind and why you are not really behind. Let me tell you the most important things again. 1. Everyone has their own time. Don't compare yourself to others. 2. Your story is not finished. The ending is still being written. 3. Being too comfortable can hold you back. Sometimes you need to try new things. 4. Success doesn't always mean happiness. Find what makes you happy inside. 5. Struggling means you are trying. Be proud of yourself. 6. You are growing even when you don't see it. Trust the process. I want you to remember something very important. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Your life is your life, not anyone else's life. Walk at your own speed. Live your own story. Stop looking at others. Stop comparing. Just focus on today. Just take one step forward. You are doing great. I am proud of you. Thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for being here. I hope this helped you feel better. I hope you feel less stressed. Remember, you are enough. Right now, just as you are. Keep going. Keep trying. Keep believing in yourself. This is Sadie. I will see you tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. You've got this. Goodbye. Have you ever learned something important from a mistake? Or changed your mind about something you always believed? Life teaches us lessons every day. And learning English? That's a lesson too. Today, we're going to talk about both. Life lessons that can help you live better, and English learning lessons that can help you speak better. Hi everyone, I'm Sadie, and welcome to Artificial Fluency Podcast. Before we start, I want to say something from my heart. I upload new videos to our channel every day for you to learn and grow. don't forget to support me so I can continue doing this. You can help me see our channel in front of more people by subscribing, becoming a member, liking, and commenting on each of my videos. Please don't forget to do these. Thank you so much. Today's episode is special. We're going to learn about two things. First, I want to share some simple but powerful life lessons. These are ideas that can help you in your daily life, in your relationships, and in your personal growth. Second, I want to teach you a great way to learn English. It's called shadowing, and it really works. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. That's okay. Just relax and listen. Your brain is learning even when you don't notice it. I'll speak slowly and clearly. I'll use simple words, and I'll tell stories to help you understand. Are you ready? Let's begin. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Let me start with an important question. Do you always help people when they ask you? Maybe you think, yes, I should always help. It's good to be helpful. But today, I want to share something that might surprise you. Sometimes helping too much can be bad. Let me explain what I mean. Imagine you have a friend. This friend always has problems. Every day they call you. Every day they need help. And you help them every single time. What happens? Your friend becomes dependent on you. They stop trying to solve their own problems. They think, I don't need to think, my friend will fix it for me. This is not good for your friend, and it's not good for you. Why? Because you're not really helping them become stronger. You're making them weaker. Think about a child learning to walk. If the parent holds the child's hand all the time, the child never learns to walk alone. The same is true with our friends and family. Sometimes we need to let them try. We need to let them fall. We need to let them learn. This doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we care in a smarter way. Instead of solving their problem, we can ask them questions. What do you think you should do? Or what have you tried already? This helps them think. It helps them become stronger. Let me tell you a story. My sister used to call me every time she had a problem with her computer. Every time. And I always fixed it for her. But one day I was very busy. I couldn't help her immediately. So she tried to fix it herself. She searched on Google. She asked a friend. She tried different things. And guess what? She fixed it. She was so proud of herself. After that, she stopped calling me for every small problem. She became more confident. She learned that she could solve problems alone. I helped her more by helping her less. Remember, the best help is the help that makes someone stronger, not weaker. Now, let's talk about something many people find difficult: saying no. Do you find it hard to say no? Many people do. We say yes when we want to say no. Why? Because we don't want people to be angry. We don't want people to think we're unkind. But here's the truth. Saying no is important. Saying no is healthy. Think about your time and energy. You have a limited amount. It's like money in a bank. If you give it to everyone, you have nothing left for yourself. Let me tell you about my friend Maria. Maria always said yes. If someone asked her to work extra hours, she said yes. If someone asked her to help with their project,
she said yes. She was tired all the time. She had no time for herself. She felt stressed and unhappy. One day, her boss asked her to work on Saturday. Maria wanted to rest on Saturday. She needed to rest, but she felt guilty. She thought, if I say no, my boss will be angry. Finally, Maria was brave. She said, I'm sorry, but I can't work on Saturday. I need to rest. And you know what happened? Her boss said, okay, no problem. That's it. No anger, no problem. Maria learned something important. When you say no honestly, people usually understand. Here's another important thing. When you say no to others, you're saying yes to yourself. If you always say yes to others, when do you have time for your own life, your own dreams, your own rest? Saying no is not selfish. Saying no is self-respect. And people actually respect you more when you can say no. Why? Because they know your yes is real. Your yes means something. So, how do you say no? Here are some simple phrases. I'm sorry, but I can't help this time. Thank you for asking, but I need to focus on other things. I would like to help, but I don't have time right now. You don't need to explain too much. You don't need to make excuses. You can just say no politely. Try it. Practice saying no. It gets easier with time.
Now let's talk about 3 more important lessons. We all know about money in the bank, right? You work, you earn money, you save it. But there's something more important than money. It's your attention. What is attention? Attention is where you put your focus, what you think about, what you look at, what you spend your time on. Here's the thing. Attention is limited. You only have so much of it each day. And once you spend it, you can never get it back. It's gone forever. So, what do you spend your attention on? Do you spend hours looking at social media, looking at other people's lives, comparing yourself to them? Do you worry about problems you cannot control? Do you think about people who don't care about you? All of this takes your attention, and you never get that time back. Let me give you an example. Imagine 2 people. Both have 1 hour of free time. Person A spends that hour scrolling on their phone, looking at pictures of strangers, feeling jealous of people they don't even know. Person B spends that hour learning something new, or talking to a friend, or resting. After 1 hour, person A feels tired and empty. Person B feels good. The difference? How they used their attention. Your attention is like gold. It's valuable. Use it carefully. Ask yourself, is this worth my attention? If the answer is no, stop. Do something else. Focus on things that make you better, things that make you happy, things that help you grow. This is how you protect your most valuable resource, your attention. Have you ever wanted something very much, and then you got it, but it didn't make you happy? This happens to many people. They work hard, they get a promotion at work, they buy a nice house, they achieve their goals, but they still feel empty inside. They think, why don't I feel happy? I got what I wanted. The problem is simple. They achieved things that don't match their values. What are values? Values are what's truly important to you, deep inside. Maybe you value family time, but you work 12 hours every day for a promotion. You achieve success at work, but you lose time with your family. Is that real success?
No. Real success is when your achievements match your values. Let me tell you about my friend David. David worked at a big company. He made a lot of money. Everyone thought he was successful. But David was miserable. Why? Because he valued creativity and freedom, but his job was boring and strict. Finally, David quit. He started his own small business. He made less money, but he was happy. Why? Because now his work matched his values. So before you chase a goal, ask yourself, is this what I really want? Or is this what other people expect? True happiness comes from living according to your own values, not other people's expectations. Here's something interesting. The things that annoy you about other people, they can teach you about yourself. Think about it. What bothers you when you see it in other people? Maybe you get annoyed when people are late. Maybe you get frustrated when people are lazy. Maybe you get angry when people are rude. Why does this bother you so much? Often, it's because you see something in them that you don't like about yourself, or you see something you're afraid of becoming. For example, if you get very angry when someone is lazy, maybe you're afraid of being lazy yourself. Maybe you work too hard and you're tired, but you don't let yourself rest. Our frustrations are like mirrors. They show us things about ourselves. This is not easy to hear, but it's true. The next time you feel annoyed with someone, stop and think, why does this bother me so much? What is this teaching me about myself? This kind of thinking is very powerful. It helps you understand yourself better. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Let's talk about 3 more lessons. These are about how we treat people and how we will be remembered. Think about someone you love who died, or someone who moved away. What do you remember about them? Do you remember their job title? Do you remember how much money they made? Do you remember their achievements? Probably not. You remember how they made you feel. You remember their kindness. You remember the time they helped you. You remember their smile. This is an important truth. People forget what you did, but they never forget how you made them feel. You can achieve great things in your career. You can be very successful. But if you're unkind, people won't remember you with love. But if you're kind, people will remember you forever. Kindness is your true legacy, not your achievements, not your money, not your success. So be kind, not because you want people to like you, but because kindness is the most important thing you can give to the world. Have you ever tried to change someone by telling them what they're doing wrong? How did it work? Probably not well. Here's why. People don't change when you correct them. People change when they feel understood. Let me explain. Imagine someone you love makes a mistake. Your first reaction might be to say, "That was wrong, you shouldn't do that." But this doesn't help. It makes them defensive. It makes them feel bad. And they probably won't change. Instead, try to understand them first. Ask them, why did you do that? How do you feel about it? Listen. Really listen. Don't judge. Just try to understand. When people feel understood, they open up. They start to think. They start to see things differently. Change comes from understanding, not from criticism. This is hard to do, especially with people we love. We want to fix them immediately. But remember, You can't force people to change. You can only create an environment where they feel safe enough to change themselves. Here's something interesting about memory. We don't remember things accurately. We remember the strongest moment and the ending. Let me give you an example. Imagine you go on a vacation for 1 week. 6 days are wonderful. 1 day is terrible. Maybe you get sick or something goes wrong. Later, when you remember this vacation, what do you think about? The 6 good days or the 1 bad day? Usually, people remember the bad day more because it was intense. It had strong emotion. The same is true for endings. You can have a beautiful relationship with someone for years, but if you end it badly, with a fight or with cruelty, that's what people remember. You can work at a company for many years and do great work, but if your last day is bad, that's what you remember. This teaches us something very important. Endings matter. A lot. So always try to end things well. End conversations well, end relationships well, end your workday well. If you need to say goodbye to someone, do it with kindness, even if you're angry, even if they hurt you. Why? Not for them, for you. You will remember how you ended things. Make sure you can be proud of yourself.
Now let's change topics. Let's talk about learning English. I want to teach you about a technique that really works. It's called shadowing. What is shadowing? Shadowing means you listen to English audio and you speak at the same time. You repeat what you hear immediately. You try to copy everything: the words, the pronunciation, the rhythm, the feeling. It's like you're following the speaker like a shadow. That's why we call it shadowing. Why is shadowing so good? Let me explain 4 reasons. First, it trains your ear. When you shadow, you need to listen very carefully. You need to hear every word, every sound. This trains your ear to understand English better. You start to hear the rhythm of English, the music of English. Second, it trains your mouth. Speaking English uses different muscles than your native language. Your tongue needs to move in new ways. Your lips need to form new shapes. Shadowing trains these muscles. It makes speaking easier and more natural. Third, it kills hesitation. Many English learners translate in their heads. They think in their language, then translate to English. This makes you slow. It makes you hesitate. But when you shadow, you can't translate. You don't have time. You just speak. This breaks the translation habit. It helps you think in English. Fourth, it builds confidence. When you shadow every day, you hear yourself speaking English more and more. You sound more natural. You sound more fluent. This makes you feel good. It makes you believe, I can do this. Now let me tell you how to do it. Step 1. Choose good audio. Find audio that's at your level. Not too easy, not too hard. It could be a podcast, a YouTube video, an audiobook, a lesson like this one. The audio should be clear. The speaker should speak clearly. Step 2. Listen first. Play the audio once. Don't speak, just listen. Try to understand. Step 3. Listen and shadow. Play the audio again. This time, speak with it. Try to say the same words at the same time. Don't pause the audio.
Just try to follow it. At first, this will be hard. You might not keep up. That's okay. This is normal. Step 4. Repeat. Do this for 10 to 15 minutes every day. The first day will be difficult. The second day will be a little easier. After 1 week, you'll see improvement. After 30 days, you'll be surprised at how much you've improved. Let me share a student story. I had a student named Ahmed. Ahmed understood English well when he read it, but he couldn't speak. He was too slow. He hesitated too much. I told him to try shadowing for 30 days, just 15 minutes every day. Ahmed chose a podcast he liked. Every morning, he shadowed for 15 minutes. The first week was hard. He couldn't keep up. He felt frustrated. But he didn't stop. He kept going. After 2 weeks, it got easier. He could follow the speaker better. After 30 days, Ahmed was a different person. He spoke more smoothly, he hesitated less, he sounded more natural, and most importantly, he felt confident. He believed in himself. That's the power of shadowing.
Now, let me give you some practical tips for practicing English every day. The most important thing is this: practice every day. Even if it's just 10 minutes, every day is better than a lot of hours once a week. Why? Because your brain needs regular practice. Like watering a plant. You need to water it a little every day, not a lot once a month. Here's what I recommend. In the morning, spend 10 minutes shadowing. Choose one podcast or video. Listen and repeat. During the day, talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing. I'm making coffee. I'm walking to work. I'm feeling tired today. This helps you think in English. In the evening, talk about your day in English. You can record yourself on your phone. Today, I woke up at 7 a.m. I had breakfast. I went to work. I talked to my coworker about. This practices speaking about your own life, and your own life is the most useful topic. You don't need special topics. You don't need to talk about politics or philosophy. Just talk about your day, your feelings, your experiences. This is practical English. This is useful English. Let me also give you one more tip. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are good. Mistakes mean you're trying. If you never make mistakes, you're not challenging yourself. You're staying in your comfort zone. But growth happens outside your comfort zone. So speak, make mistakes, learn from them, and speak again. Every day you're getting better. Maybe you don't see it immediately, but it's happening. Trust the process, keep practicing, be patient with yourself. We've been talking for about 30 minutes now. We talked about life lessons, helping wisely, saying no, protecting your attention, matching success with values, learning from frustrations, being kind, understanding others, and ending well. We also talked about learning English, the shadowing technique, and how to practice every day. I hope some of these ideas were helpful for you. I hope they gave you new ways to think about life and learning. Remember, life is a journey. Learning English is a journey. Both take time. Both require patience. Don't expect to change everything today. Just take one small step. One lesson, one practice session. And then tomorrow, take another small step. Little by little, you become better in life and in English. Let me leave you with one final thought. You are capable of more than you think.
You can learn, you can grow, you can change. Don't give up. Keep trying. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I'm proud of you for taking the time to practice English. I'm proud of you for wanting to grow. Keep going. You're doing great. This is Sadie, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself. Be kind to others, and keep learning. You've got this.